Thank you very much for a warm welcome. It's my second time here in Kathmandu and I really enjoy. I can say that the city is now much cleaner than I saw it a year ago, and I enjoy the weather, I enjoy people, I enjoy food here. It's always pleasure to come to Kathmandu. Yeah, Indrive is now, I would say, one of the biggest mobility platforms here in Nepal. We operate in a number of cities. In Kathmandu, obviously, is the biggest, and then Pokhara and Bharatpur, the other ones. We launched in Q2, in the second quarter last year, and it's been a real success. So we've got thousands of rides per day, and we see a lot of drivers joined us so far. And yeah, for passengers, we also see that there's a very positive response. They use us frequently. So for Indrive, I would say that Nepal is a real success. Yeah, that's quite interesting. Nepal is, yeah, it's a small country, but again, 30 million people, it's not a small population. So first of all, we would like to be in the markets which are, we call them underdeveloped markets. So people need service, and then the bigger players, they are not coming into the market because they think it's small. Yeah, we just came into Nepal, we opened the service, we do not charge anyone for anything now. So the platform is free of charge for the passenger and for the driver now. And you know, we just put the basis for the future, because we see that the country is developing fast. As far as I know, that IT industry is the second fastest growing in Nepal for the moment. So obviously people become more engaged into the IT industry applications, and then we just built the basic for the future. Now we have a lot of users, we have drivers, we have passengers, and they use us more frequently every single month, every single year. So I guess that it's a big opportunity for us as a company in Nepal, right? And for the local community to develop with our app. So that's the reason we're here, and we're glad to be here. Yeah, that's always a big question for me specifically, because everywhere where we operate, we would love to be legal. We would like to comply with the regulation, and that's what we started to do. Once we launched, we started to speak with the government, and actually at the end of last year we submitted our application to the government, and now it's still being reviewed there. So we want us to be legal there, to start reporting to the local authorities, to start paying local taxes. Yeah, but it's the application is now with the Minister of Industry, and we need the government to look into this application as soon as possible. So we proceed with the registration. As for the moment, we have this question still pending. So we need the government to help us to become legal and compliant here in Nepal. I'm sure we're gonna have it. Yeah, we work with the local consultants, with the local partners to make it happen as soon as possible. So I should say that now this is on the side of the government, and we do everything possible just to convince them to approve our registration as soon as possible. I can say that in general the community here in Nepal is very pleasant, is very open-minded, and very I would say loyal to these kind of things. So we never had any harsh reactions, any bad attitude. Yeah, we've had a number of pushes, you know, from police in Pokhara, for example, when you know, they stopped our drivers and tried to explain to them that Nepal is that Indrive is not registered in Nepal, and they have to kind of quit the platform. But you know, drivers, they already want to have this technology. They're already used to that, and they don't want to quit. They want to keep on driving passengers and earning money. So yeah, for the moment we didn't have any like big troubles, but I know that we have to start complying as soon as possible. Otherwise, you know, it could be questionable from all the other ministers and government authorities. No, we're still not taking any commission from anyone. It's just absolutely free of charge for the drivers and for passengers, for all users here in Nepal. And yeah, it's been already a year and a half since we operate officially here without any commission. Well, potentially in the future we will implement the commission once we become registered, and we will start paying taxes to the local government. out of this commission. And again, just to say that our commission is very low comparing to all the other competitors globally. It never goes over 10%, so it's going to be even less for Nepal users. I'm sure that drivers would not be really disappointed with this one, because we need this to invest back into the local market, to pay taxes, and to make the app good and convenient for them. Yeah, that's an interesting story. We started in 2012, more than 10 years ago, and Indrive at that time was the short word for independent drivers. So that was the reflection of our intention to unite independent drivers on the platform. But since then, after 10 years, we already a big company. We have almost 3,000 people globally working for us, and now we see that this company, this business, is driven by people, and we changed to Indrive, which means inner drive. Yeah, which means that we have some inner passion, inner energy, to move this company forward, to move this business forward. So that's the reason we changed. It's just one letter at the end, but in reality, that's a huge difference behind. So now it's inner drive, which means Indrive. For Nepal, we still see a lot of cash payments. Nepal is a very cash-based country. I can say that in the other Asian countries, we see that more card payments, e-wallets are in use for ride-hailing. In Nepal, it's still more for cash, but again, we're meeting with the local partners, and they see how the technology developing here, and number of e-wallets is developing very fast. So that's one of the things. The other one is the penetration of electric vehicles is still very low. That's probably what government has to look at, because for the electric vehicles, it's important not to only sell them, it's important to build the infrastructure, charging stations, and here government needs to help for the suppliers to enter the market, and then to reduce the pollution. And electricity is cheaper than other fuel, so for drivers it would be definitely a benefit. That's the other thing. All the rest is pretty much the same. I can't say that the market is small. It's not that small, because we've got a very big share of bike rides, of motor rides, and this traffic in Kathmandu is pretty bad already, and with bike rides it's easier to navigate inside the city. So city is doing quite well. And then we also see that in small cities, smaller ones like Pokhara, Bharatpur, we're also starting to grow pretty fast. At some point, it's going to be pretty much the same as the other countries. It's going to start, bringing rides in everywhere in the country, and not only in-city rides. We also have this intercity connections, which is quite developing now. And again, the other thing I want to mention, that why it's not growing that fast, just because, again, we need, as a society, invest more into the roads construction. I know that it's not that perfect between, let's say, Kathmandu and Pokhara. So a lot of people, they use flights, but for the future, I'm sure that the government works on the roads construction, and we're going to have more intercity rides. So we've got Pokhara launched, I think, about a year ago, and I was personally there. I enjoyed the city, the nice view of the lake, mountains. It was just beautiful. And now we have a lot of bike drivers there, and also cab drivers. And then Bharatpur just recently, still a small number of rides, but it's growing. So, and then we will go to the other cities as well. Interesting where they take the numbers, because for the moment, as we're not yet registered here officially, so we do not submit the reports to the government officially, but we would love to once we register. I can say that this number is, it's actually close to the number we really do in the market. But again, I would love to share the statistics, the official data, once we are registered here as a local organization. So we just report to the local tax authorities, to the local statistic authorities, and they will know everything about our business here. Right. We see new companies, new ride-hailing applications coming to the market everywhere in the world, and in some countries like India, it's happening pretty much every single week. Interesting thing here is that Indrive is having a bit different business model than others. So we are just a technology in between driver and passenger, and they register in the platform, and they can negotiate the price. They just we just give a tool, a technology for them to bargain with each other and to find the right passenger and the right driver. Slightly different with the other big players. Here in Nepal, we've got a number of competitors. Some of them are focused not only rides but also predominantly on the food delivery. We are not there yet, so here we do not compete. And then competition is always good because it just keeps you awake. So yeah, we're happy that we have competitors here, and we can see that some of them just recently renewing brands and coming, which is fine, and they also personally use them to move in the city to compare the services. And to be honest, we have something to improve comparing to other competitors, right? So that's fine to have a competition, and I'm sure we're all gonna stay in the market and then make everyone happy, make the society happy, community happy, make the officials and the government happy. So yeah, that's good. Our attitude towards that is just positive. We can say that it depends, really depends on the seasonality, on the traffic condition, on the weather outside. So it's I can say that in Kathmandu it's like always more than 50,000 per day. So that's quite a big number, I can say. And generally in the world we're doing more than 4 million rides per day. So that's a big number, just 4 million people on a daily basis use Indrive platform. Globally, yeah. So Kathmandu is also one of the big cities for us. Privacy of the data sharing, yeah, that's a good question, yeah, because everywhere in the world now the privacy is very important, yeah, specifically in the payment industry, e-wallets, card business. For ride-hailing, we do not collect that much of data, yeah. For the passenger, we just collect the phone number, name, and sometimes name could not be real, we don't really verify that. And then we also see the where the passenger goes. It's not that much of data which could be used for some bad purposes, right? But we still have all the systems internally just to make sure that this data stays with us. We don't share it with anyone. For the driver, we have much more requirement to make sure that we provide a safe service. So the driver has to submit all the documents required by law to us, and then we verify these documents. And once the driver is verified, we also track his activity. So we see what's the rating, or the passenger gives him the rating, what kind of the rating. There are also comments in the app, so we can also check what are the comments of the passenger. And then if something goes wrong, then we speak with the driver, or if it's still bad, we can even ban the driver and then he goes to other platforms or something. So for us, from the driver perspective, we make sure that the safety is the top priority. For passenger, it's the other thing, yeah. And we also implemented just recently a couple of features for the passenger to be on a safe side, right? So the passenger now can share the way he goes, right? He has a source button in the app, and then we also track all the other comments which drivers give to passenger. So it's quite a sophisticated tool behind the app. It sounds like easy to have an app, but in reality it's a huge work being done by different departments, including customer support, to make sure that the app is safe and it works good. I can say that I'm sure that we have a very bright future for our business here in Nepal. We need to resolve all the pending questions with the government first. After that, we're gonna start, paying local taxes and reporting to the local government. Then we develop our app. We will start charging a bit of commission from drivers. We will reinvest this into the app development, into the other marketing purposes, into the bonuses and incentives. So I'm sure that once we complete this registration, our users gonna see a lot of development of the app here in the country. So I just want to say that I'm very pleased with what we do in Nepal, with the people here, how they trust us, how they use us. And every single time I come here, I'm personally very much inspired with all the wisdom, with all the warm welcoming here of people. And I'm definitely going to come more often. And I wish good luck to everyone here, because you guys have a lot of opportunity, you have a lot of great ideas, and just make them happen. And good luck to you. Thank you.